we're live.
Here we are.
Wait, you didn't get all that out before the intro dropped, did you? You didn't realize we did a test run. You should have. It's only a 10-second intro.
I know, but
It's literally a 10-second intro.
with me, Andy. I mean, I act better in the studio than I do at the house. So,
Well, folks, we're here. It's Friday night. Technically, it's not. We're recording this on a Wednesday night because Rick's got to work Friday night. And it's also a good test run because we are going to be having to record some guests that can't do a Friday night show like Josh Wolf, that I've talked to. You're also talking to a member of famous rock group.
Immersed in right now in my office, a member of KISS, possibly. So.
Member of KISS, that's right. And we will probably have to record that show and not be live. So, but it is Wednesday, July 29th for our July 31st show, which is kind of nice. A Friday night off from doing the show. No offense, but it is kind of nice to have a Friday night off from doing the podcast. So that way me and my wife can do whatever. But we're supposed to go out tonight to do wings or get wings because it's National Wing Day today, Wednesday.
And, I was going to say, we have been very tenacious is the word I think I'll go with about recording every Friday night. This is pretty interesting because for like 4 months now, we've recorded every Friday night in some fashion for the Fat Thor Lockdown Challenge podcast. So this is really an interesting thing, that we're celebrating it on National Wing Day, for crying out loud. So.
Yes, on National Wing Day, and we're testing the system. We haven't done a podcast record and upload, so this is a nice new run with our new intro, with the new intro I put together.
So professional.
So, and I've got an outro for it as well. So we're stepping up. All right, I'm at least trying to step my game up.
I feel like Paul Rudd. Look at us. Who would have thought? Not me.
Not me. Not me. No, not me.
That's we're making moves is what we're doing.
Making moves, exactly. But it is National Wing Day. Have you eaten any wings today or no?
I don't eat wings.
That's right, you're a vegetarian now.
Vegetarian, so
you had to have fried cauliflower or something.
I've had fried cauliflower. It's very good. Today I had Impossible, the Beyond Burger. Today I had one of those for lunch. But
how is that? I've heard different things. I've heard people say it's great. I've heard people say, really?
A couple of weeks ago when we were recording for Power, and I was eating when you showed up. You and Michael showed up. And Well, that was a Beyond Burger, and it was fantastic. I like them, but of course, I used to eat wings, and my favorite was lemon pepper. That was always my jam, the lemon pepper.
That was your favorite. Oh, really? Yeah. Lemon pepper extra wet?
Yes, that was my jam.
Nice. Lemon pepper extra wet. Well, for me, the hotter the better, and it's really hard for me to find really good hot wings around because people's palate isn't quite up to mine. I'm the guy that has Reaper powder, Scorpion salsa, Scorpion powder, the Atomic. Anything you've seen on hot ones, I've got it, and then steps up from those. So, and I will mix them. I will mix them and make my own at home, and it's pretty. But I do have to say, Beef O'Brady's has probably the hottest that serves, and Hooters has their 3 Mile, and then I do their spicy garlic and dip it in that. So those are the two kind of my go-to places if I want to eat. Other than our favorite place, which is. They probably do have some of the best wings in town. Why not? It's a local sports bar here in town, and my wife has become addicted to them as well. That's her favorite lemon pepper. She even told me the ones I make don't even hold a candle, so it's amazing. But it's wing night and National Wing Day. And she said, hey, by the way, we don't have Riley tonight. She's going to her dad's for his birthday, so let's go get wings. And I'm like, we're recording the show. But we're going to go after this. So we may cut the show short. I'm just saying we may cut the show because she's taking me to my bar.
Right. Eat wings on Wing Day.
On Wing Day.
I'll tell you a funny story about hot sauce. About 10 or 12 years ago, we were in Myrtle Beach. It was me and my girlfriend and all our kids. And we would go down there, sometimes
Mm-hmm.
twice a year. And there was this place called Broadway on the Beach. They have everything: Margaritaville,
Right.
Señor Frogs, the
Oh
Kiss
yeah.
Coffee House, all these things. But they have like a Harley Davidson shop. They had next door to the Harley Davidson shop this um, hot sauce place. And when you
Mm-hmm.
walked in, it was kind of like a U shape, and there was a guy in the middle with like a bar, if you will, but and the register was at the end. So everybody's like all the way around this thing and looking at hot sauces, and I'm standing there at the bar thing, and he
Mm-hmm.
goes, "Do you like horseradish sauce?" And I was like, "Sure." He goes, "This
Mm-hmm.
stuff will light you up for about 30 seconds, and then it just goes away." And he goes, "You want to try some?" Now I am with my girlfriend, my kids, a bunch of strangers, so I don't want to just puss out and go, "No, no, none for me." He
Right.
he takes a spoon of this horseradish sauce. It was the size of those little sample spoons of at Baskin Robbins. Okay,
Right.
very tiny
Right.
spoon.
Right.
He dips in there, then takes a toothpick and knocks off the excess. So the only amount of horseradish sauce is in the spoon on the plastic. That is it. So
Right.
I was like, that ain't gonna do anything. And no matter how hot this is, I will just suffer through it for 30 seconds and not let him know it's bothering me. So right before I go to put the sample in my mouth, this total stranger next to me goes, "Hold on, I want to watch your face." And I was like, "Oh no!" So I take a I'll take a spoonful of this, and I am gonna power through it no matter what.
Right.
I thought I was having a heart attack. I was like, oh! It was hard, but 30 seconds later, and that was a long 30 seconds. Let me tell you, 30
Right.
seconds, it just went away. But that was the most lethal, evil thing I've ever put in my mouth. I was unbelievably scalding hot, and it was like maybe a ghost pepper or something. I don't know. I could not handle that. It was awful, 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 awful,
Well,
awful.
horseradish is pretty harsh. Okay, so I mean, it is very harsh. It's a lot of people can't take, and even types of horseradish fruits, depending on how the root is, it'll light you up, man. And I'm gonna tell you, I can eat some of the hottest things on the planet. There was a spice bar. A funny story. There's a spice bar down in Key West. It was the first spice bar I've been to. Basically, that's all it was. Is everything in it was about hot sauces, books, knickknacks. But they had a hot sauce bar, and they had over 200 sauces on this bar. And you sit down, and they would give you samples of each, and they would start you from the mildest thing they had, and you couldn't go out of order. You had to try it from 1 to 200. They didn't care if,
Like a
because they've had people come in there and say, "Oh, I got this," and they jumped and gave them something like number 95 or 100, and they've ended up like ruining their day. So they watch you, and so you have to go through all the BS and the little mangoes and all that. And I get over halfway, well, actually more than halfway. I got about three-quarters of the way through, and I was getting close to the end, and the levels just kept going up and up and up. Well, they gave me this stuff, and they put it on a toothpick, and I even went past Satan's blood. And a lot of hot sauce people knows Satan blood. It's very concentrated, but this was past Satan's blood. And they put this thing on the Q-tip and handed it to me, and they said, "Now listen, even though your fingers are this close and they're not touching the sauce, don't use that hand to scratch yourself or do anything with yourself in a private area, eyes, da 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 da, da, because you will hurt yourself." And I said, "Okay." And they go, "Just touch it on your tongue." So I touched it on my tongue. And they go, "You got to sit there." And they turned the timer on and timed for 5 minutes. We'll be back in 5 minutes and look at you. I'm like, "What?" I'm like, and I'm sitting there drinking beer because they didn't serve beer, but the restaurant next door did. So I kept going back and forth and getting beer. And I was like, okay. So I was sitting there and I was like, "Dude, there's nothing. There's no heat. There's nothing. There's no taste. There's zero." And he looked at me and he looked at my eyes and he goes, I said, "Listen, if I tasted something, I've told you over the past 100 and something, this is good. This isn't good. This is spicy. This is. And
right.
I said, here we are, we're close to the finish line and you're toothpicking a drop." And so he gets it and he swerves around. And he goes, "Here." So I took it and I just rubbed it all. I went like this up and down on my tongue. And I was like, and I laid it down. It had no flavor. Okay. And that's the thing I like a lot. I like good flavor. I like hot. I like good hot, but I want flavor. I want it to
I,
have flavor. I want it to have something,
yeah.
So I did this. And I'd never had this happen to me. And I've been eating jalapenos out of jars and hot stuff. And I go through bottles of Tabasco. I mean, you name it. And I was in my 20s. And it was probably like 24, 25. I was down there for a wedding for my ex-wife's cousin. But anyways, and all of a sudden I just sat there and I went, whoa. And I grabbed the table and I kind of sat back. And if you've ever been on one of those, let's just say magic rides, and you start climbing, that's what it felt like. And I was like, what's going on? And I just felt like I was like climbing a ride, a roller coaster I couldn't get off of. And all of a sudden, I was like, the world just started bubbling and like moving around me. And I was like, did y'all give me LSD or just hot sauce? And then I started losing my hearing.
What?
I started losing my hearing. And they looked at me and they go, you're cut off. Your eyes are dilated. Come to find out, and I go, what do you mean? And I looked, and I was like, my eyes were like a fish eyes. I mean, I swear to God, I mean, if I get pulled over by a cop, they would have thought I was on something other than
that's a real thing.
It's a real thing. It's called an endorphin rush. It basically does the same thing like cocaine or any other drugs that will do to you. It sends endorphins. It releases endorphins in your body, and that's why hot sauce for a lot of people becomes addictive. And it's addictive for me. I mean, it's not addictive in a sense, but I just love hot stuff, and the hotter the better. Other than it has flavor.
Are you a Simpsons fan?
Oh yes, I am a Simpsons fan, but I haven't watched every episode.
Well, I know. Look, they've been on for 30 years. I'm not holding you every episode. But, you miss a few. But there's an episode where they go to a carnival and they have like this really hot sauce. And Homer, is kind of goaded into tasting it, maybe by Bart or something.
Right.
And he eats this Guatemalan, mystery Reaper pepper or whatever it is. And they hold it up and you see like, it looks like a green pepper, but it has like little veins of hot molten lava running through it. And he takes a bite of it and he literally goes into like a hallucinogenic state and sees his spirit guy. And it's crazy. It was like, and I was like, man,
it's a real thing. It's a real thing. It's a thing.
I believe it. Now, I always thought they were just kind of sort of accentuating the idea of the heat of that, but apparently that's why I was like, this is a real thing.
It's a real thing. The only other time I've had that happen was when me and Liz, my wife, my new wife, and hopefully last wife. Anyways, hopefully, I'm just kidding. It was a joke.
Zing.
She's in the other room. That's why I said it. Anyways, I'm kidding. And but we were down in Louisiana, and Tabasco, a year, 2 years ago, came out with their Scorpion Tabasco sauce, and you can only get it down there when they first opened. And I still can't find it anywhere else up here to buy it yet. But they had it, and they had a bowl of it sitting out at the Tabasco store on just down on Bourbon Street. And so I went in there. I was like, I gotta try it. So I went in there with a pretzel, and they just let you go at it. And I went at it, and I mean, it's thick. It's thick like ketchup. It's not like regular Tabasco sauce where it's kind of vinegary, loose.
Sure.
I took a scoop of that thing, and it like I had a blob of ketchup, and I was like, this can't be that bad. It's Tabasco. I mean, I eat Satan's blood. I eat all this other stuff. And so I grabbed it, and I just threw it in my mouth. And it had an amazing flavor. I've got a bottle. We bought a bottle. It's here in the house. And all of a sudden, I just went, she goes, how is that good? And all of a sudden, I felt that same thing I had not felt since Key West. But it had a great flavor. And all of a sudden, I felt like,
if shit
and I
lost
my hearing. I had to tell Liz this. And she goes, what's the matter? I said, I'm kind of high right now. She goes, what? I go, no, I'm high. And it's going to climb. And I'm going to get higher. And I'm losing my hearing. And she goes, you're freaking kidding me. And I said, I am not kidding you. Just don't leave me right now when we start walking down the block. And we had to walk down the block, and it was a good 10 minutes before I finally started to come down and started getting my hearing back.
Wow. Does she eat the same kind of stuff, or did she just leave that up to you?
Oh, hell no. Hell no. I can't even, I've got to watch how much pepper I put in stuff for her. I mean, it's like, the good thing is I do know how to not make stuff for me. But then when I say, hey, I'm making this for me,
Let me
back off.
tell you
Y'all better back off.
Let me tell you something. If your house ever becomes under attack for any reason, what you need to do is invest in like super soakers, because you could just load up some super soakers
Yep.
with some of these hallucinogenic hot sauces. Nobody dies. They'll be wishing for like tear gas. It would be so
Yes.
bad. It'd be riding around out.
Honestly, yeah, there's some sauces I have in there that I've had probably 4 or 5 years that have fermented to the point, and I've actually made some of my own extraction oils that you would ask for pepper spray. You would literally beg for mace, I think, over if I mix some of that stuff up and put it in a solution like that.
You could probably just
Seriously.
boil it on your stove and just clear the house.
I've cleared the house. I've made stuff in here, and they've walked in. Liz and Riley walked in, going, "What are you cooking? My eyes are burning." I'm like, "Oh, it's nothing. It's just roasting some jalapenos with some, da da da." And I'm just like, "I'm just getting started. Just wait. It's about to get real ugly in a minute."
You're like Walter. You're like Walter White of the hot sauce. You're in there. You're cooking it in like your underwear and like
the Breaking Bad.
Breaking.
Yeah.
You just have an
No, you do. You do. That stuff will get on your clothes
and your visor. And
I've burnt my skin.
She comes in the kitchen and you're there in your tidy whities and an apron and your visor cooking hot sauce stuff.
Oh, I mean, I love it. And I love a good hot sauce. I love a good hot sauce with a lot of heat and good flavor. There's a video I posted of my son. He met me at Beef O'Brady's, their hot sauce. And their hot sauce, I'm going to tell you, I'm surprised they serve it. And for me to say I'm surprised they serve it, it's not, I mean, they go, we don't ever sell it. You're the only guy that comes in here regularly and orders it. The only one. They go, we don't understand how you can handle it. And so I'm like, well, it's good. I mean, it's great. It's not like over crazy, but and he grabbed, and so the lady sets down my wings in front of me, and he had ordered some wrap, and he goes, "Oh, wings," and he goes, "Can I have one?" I go, "Sure." Didn't even think. He grabs one, takes the whole flat, sticks it in his mouth, and just ding. And within 2 seconds, he has the worst 10 minutes of his entire life. And I videoed it and put it on. It's on Facebook. I need to repost. He's coughing. He's red. He's like, "How do you eat that?" And he's like, he is like crying. He is just his lunch, his afternoon. He said his whole day was ruined.
Imagine it just seems like they just scalds off your taste buds. It just. My son, when he was younger, I don't know, maybe he can still do this, but I mean, even as a kid, he used to blow me away with that. We'd go to Buffalo's or something, and he would always order the hottest wings that they had. And I'd always feel like I'm going to be just throwing these away. He's not going to eat them. He'd eat every damn one of them and not complain. And I used to work with a guy. We used to go to Hooters for lunch, and he would always get those. Well, back then they were called Chernobyl wings, and then they moved them to 3 Mile Island or whatever.
Yeah, 3 Mile's my favorite. It's one of my favorites for flavor and spice.
And he would eat a whole 10-piece and not drink a drop of water or nothing, and then chase it down with a beer or a Coke or whatever, but water. But I'm not that advanced in my.
Well, they came out with a sauce that's too hot. That's supposedly 2 sauces hotter than that, but it doesn't have any flavor. That's the problem. They lost the flavor. They tried to go for the heat and lost the flavor. And
that's like it was like that sauce, the bomb. Have you had that?
I've got some. I've got a bottle of it sitting right here in my refrigerator.
And it doesn't have any flavor to it either, but it's just
no flavor. It's just pure capsaicin stuff. And they actually use that to keep elephants off the fences in India, in South Africa, or they line the fences with that so the elephants won't come into areas where people are living. That's what they use that stuff for. But yeah, now I'll put it in chili and stuff for heat, but it has 0 flavor. And to put that on a wing by itself is stupid.
I'm just surprised that, this is not being used as some sort of tactical weapon at just to some degree.
It
It's
is.
like,
It is. They do make some tactical stuff with like some of that T bomb capsation and stuff. And I've actually saw I was at a when I was at an NRA show and they had all these like, oh, this I go, can I just take that and spray it on my wings? Because it sounds like it's and they go, you don't want to eat this. I go,
maybe
I
I
eat stuff
do.
that I eat stuff that's a lot hotter than that, bro. And they go, no, you don't. And I go, and I had a friend of mine with, and they go, yeah, yeah.
Have you ever ate anything where you felt like you were having like heart issues or worried about that because of the intensity of it?
No, I've not had that. The most intense feeling, like I said, is where I felt like I was really high, like things were melting and moving, and I lost my hearing, and I was just like high and just like on a cloud, zoning out there in a different world just for a
You
minute.
know, you know what would be funny? I would really regret this, and I'm the one suggesting this, and I feel like I would regret it horribly. But we should go on the Hot Ones game show. They shoot it here in Atlanta,
Yeah.
and we could be a team. But I don't know if you would want me as your partner. I think I would be. You might need for that kind of money. I would probably subject myself. God knows what I do on the radio. I would do it for you. I would do it for you on a nationally syndicated game show. But
Yeah.
but when you got to do that shot at that one at the end, dude, I just feel like
Dude, that's stupid. That's where they went too far. It's like you got to do a shot. Those people's bowels are screwed up the rest of that. I've done that one time before. I did that at 16 years old. I did a shot of Tabasco and something else like that. And I'm going to tell you, I was messed up for 24 hours stomach wise. It was not the most brilliant idea in the world, and I felt like I had a hangover. I felt like, I mean, I was crapping nonstop. It was just, it's not, and for them to do that, that's a big risk. That's a big risk, and
yeah.
it's not worth it.
Anything with EMTs on the side is a big risk. When they've got paramedics.
I would do everything up to that point. And I know I could probably get the answers. I know I could handle the heat. I can handle it, but I'd rather do it with like Bert Kreischer or something, just doing some questions or across an interview or something like that, versus the game show aspect. Because I mean, I don't think that's the smartest move they came up with.
That's what I like about Hot Ones. They give them the option to tap out. A lot of them won't, but they give them the option of tapping out. And some of those celebrities that I've watched on Hot Ones really surprised me. Like the one that surprised me the most was Michael Cera. He didn't even act like it bothered him to any level. He was very just.
Paul Rudd crushed that sucker like it was a champ, and then he mixed them all together at the end. He said, "We're going to do it Rudd style," and I was like, "Holy crap!" Good job for you, but and I've ordered a couple of the sauces off of that show. They're not hot. They're not that hot. And or if they do have spice, they don't have a good flavor. I'm like, I can bring you some stuff that will have a good flavor and blow your mind off what y'all are giving out.
The celebrity seizure round, where they're all on the floor hallucinating.
Hey, by the way, yeah, Bert, you want to get real high now? You want to get real high, Bert?
I like to get high, but I don't know. Ooh, man, that's what's going on in my head right now. It's like, subject myself to some pretty weird tripping with the fire down below or not.
See, hot sauce and hot stuff has never bothered me like that. Everybody's like, oh, it's not the day of, it's not the burn going in, it's the burn going out. I don't ever have the burn going out issue. Never had it. It does not affect me, no matter how much hot wings, hot it is, what it is, does not bother me that way. I am.
You're a very fortunate man, sir. I tell you, because that is that's one of the. I mean, I just don't eat a lot of hot stuff like that, just because I don't want to be uncomfortable when I eat. As far as I like the heat of it to a degree,
I'm never uncomfortable.
I just, And then the after effect is always just, just miserable. And it reminds me of that Cheech and Chong movie Up in Smoke, where he eats the burrito and
Right.
gets the running through that factory, and he's like, "Oh, come on, ice cream! Come on, ice cream!"
I know that is, and it doesn't bother. I do get a rush. I do get a good rush. It is a fun rush. I do get a rush eating hot sauce. It's a rush for me. I feel great. I feel alive. I feel awake. I feel like that's just the way it is, and it does not bother me going in or. I mean, sometimes it does go in, but going out, it does not bother me ever. And I don't know why. I don't know how. Because everybody else I know, they're like, "You're kidding me." I'm like, "No, I'm not kidding you. I'm not lying to you. I would tell you."
Your insides are probably as clean as you was when you were first born. You have managed like shiny chrome. It's like this engine has been severely taken. We put additives in Andy Gunnin's body that will make sure he will live to be 160, and the deterioration aspect won't probably start till he's about 145 because he's polished inside and out
Right.
here. Like,
Well, they've linked eating hot stuff to fighting off a lot of things. So I don't know. I may have figured out a way to stay alive longer than I want to, even though my doctor said my cholesterol's through the roof right now. So I may need to back off eating things.
Well, I'm sure there's got to be some sort of cholesterol fighting hot sauce that you've yet to discover.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna figure it out because I mix everything, dude. Here's one of my sauces that I make for my hot sauce, for my wing sauce. I think I posted a picture on. I take the Frank's. Frank's makes now a wing sauce, but they make a hotter, or what they call an extra hot wing sauce base. I take that. That's my base. I pour about a quarter cup of that. Then I take that Scorpion Tabasco sauce and I shake it about 8 or 9 times into that. I then take the T-Bomb. I take about 3 or 4 or 5 drops of that. I take my Dave's Insanity. I throw Dave's Insanity in it. I put about 4 or 5 drops of Dave's Insanity in it, if not 6. So it just depends on what comes out. And then I take Tabasco. I take for the vinegar, just give it a little vinegar flavor. Put a little bit garlic powder. I then take my scorpion pepper, my ghost pepper with powder. These are powders, and my reaper powder. And I'll take the powder and I shake it in there like boom, boom, two good boom, booms in it, which is about, I don't know, quarter teaspoon each. And then if I'm feeling froggy, I may throw what else I got in there that I've thrown in? Oh, that grinder sauce. Grinder out in Kansas City makes an amazing hot sauce. It's really thick. I'll throw some of that in. It adds a really good flavor. And then I just basically mix it up with a whisk and throw it on either wings or fingers and dip it in it. And
Cereal,
cereal, whatever. I love when I make it, and Raleigh's here, and I've made some like hot chicken fingers, or I toss it in it, and the hot, then it like permeates. I go, "Hey, smell this," and she's like, she sits there, and her nose runs, and she's like, "Why'd you make me smell that? Oh my gosh, I can feel the back of my brain."
I guarantee you, y'all will never be stopped up from a cold at your house. It's like,
oh no, I'm never.
like, I can breathe fine and everything's functioning fine. I guarantee you a hot shower. And, this fall I might, ask for you to send me a bottle up just so that I can, don't have to, go buy cold medicine. I'll just a little dab of do me.
Little dab of do. It's funny though, because it will get on my hands after I've mixed it, and I won't think about it, and I think I've washed my hands good enough that I have it, and it gets like on my fingernail or something. And I like rub my eye or something. I'm like, oh my eye. Oh.
Yeah, there's not one good place that can mistakenly be rubbed. I mean, I can only imagine the alternative. That would be be just the worst. And you did it to yourself,
I had a buddy in high school. I probably should tell this story, but it's a funny story involving hot sauce and high school dating. But he took this chick out on a date with him. He didn't really want to go out, but only reason he went out with her because she was known for being kind of, let's just say, a little risque out the gate. He took her to eat wings, and they went to Hooters over in Jonesboro off of 1941, and he ate some really hot stuff and ate some wings and didn't think nothing about it. And apparently he didn't wash his hands good enough, and she grabbed his hand and wanted him to do something with her while they're driving down the road. And apparently he didn't wash his hands, and she turns blood red and grabs his hand and starts screaming and yelling at him and says, "Take me home." And they were going to a party, and she said, "No, you take me home right now. Take me home." He said she never would talk to him again. She didn't see him. She didn't see her for about a week.
like dating the Human Torch there, it's like
he goes and he's telling me the story, and he goes they didn't call her hot pants for nothing after that. And I was just like, oh my God, no, you didn't tell. And he told everyone, and I was like, stop, this is too funny. This is
that is the true definition of fire crotch right there.
It happened. It happened. I mean, it happened.
Swear to God, if he goes to his reunion and they're having wings, he got to go up and offer one and go, "How you been?"
That's what. And for him to tell a story, he's just laughing the whole time. I couldn't stop. Of course, it's a little bit more detailed than when I just gave the clean version, but you get the drift.
That's all you. This poor woman. I guarantee you, no matter if she drives by a Hooters, every time she drives by Hooters to this day, that woman looks at Hooters in such disgust. And for really probably the wrong reasons, but I guarantee you, she has not stepped her foot in a Hooters since that time.
No, she hasn't.
She may be vegan at this point. She has gave up any turned her vegan.
Probably. The only other instance I can tell you a story that I was there for was I went to visit my buddy at West Georgia. He was in a fraternity out there, and we went out there to hang out and party. And we partied Friday night and hung out, and I stayed out there the whole weekend. And that Saturday we got up, and a guy, one of his fraternity brothers is from Texas, and why he ended up at West Georgia, I have no clue. But he grew ghost peppers. He was like one of the first people to really introduce me to ghost pepper. And it was a family thing, and he had them growing out by the volleyball court, showed me, talked to me, told me how to grow them. And this ghost pepper was in his family. They just always do, and they make this ghost pepper sauce. And so he made some, had it in the bottle, and let me try it. And we'll tell you, it was chunky, it was thick. You can see the seeds, you can see everything. It lit me up. It was good, but it was good. It was really good, but it was, let me tell you, hot. It was like holy hot, because it was just nothing but pure pepper. They didn't really cut it with a whole lot of stuff, and they made it like a salsa, like a chunky salsa. Well, he just said, look, don't touch the bottle. If you touch the bottle, wash your hands. Well, I didn't touch the bottle. The next day, we're sitting around in the living room, and one of his other fraternity brothers came out from the room in the back, went to go get something in the fridge, goes back in. He's playing Xbox. Actually, it wasn't Xbox, but it was PlayStation. He was playing PlayStation, and he said something like, "I want to play this game." He's like, "Yeah, we'll come play in a second." All of a sudden, like it was about 3-4 minutes later, we hear this scream. I mean, oh my God! I mean, just this massive, like, oh! And all of a sudden, we go run back there. He's like, "What the hell? Holy!" And he's just cussing, and we're like, what's going on? So we walk back there. He's in the shower, and I'm like, dude, I'm not going. He goes, no. He like screaming. He goes, go get me something. Get me mayonnaise. Get me. He goes, I don't care what it is. And he's in the shower. Apparently, he grabbed the bottle, and in that bottle, the guy that made it, put it in this Hunt's ketchup bottle, and there was sauce residue all over the side because they had poured down it. The guy had got it on his hand when he moved the bottle. Playing video games on Saturday, scratched himself. All I'm going to say is fire in the balls. And he went into the shower. Now, if you know anything about hot sauce, when you put water on it, it makes it 10 times worse. And so they're going and getting mustard. He's spraying mustard on his nuts. He's grabbing mayonnaise. He's smearing mayonnaise on his nuts. I'm like, only dairy gets that out. He goes, I don't care. Get me milk. Well, there's no milk at a fraternity house. Okay, zero milk. Okay, I'm just surprised there was mayonnaise and mustard. Okay, and this dude's day and night was ruined. We didn't see him I didn't see him the rest of the weekend after I left. And I called my buddy Matt. I was like, what happened? He goes, dude, he ain't been right for a week, man.
God almighty, man. That is just horrific.
He said they had to go see the nurse on campus because it was the burns were so bad.
Burn balls. And accidentally. It wasn't even no jackass stuff, that was
and I was there for it. The funniest thing, I'm just laughing, and the dude's in the shower he was throwing every condiment that there was in there on it.
That would be hilarious to see, though. It's funny that it's like all sandwich condiment.
It was, because that's all there was in it. There was a fraternity house, and everything on Friday night, the night before, the only thing was left was a couple of beers and condiments. I mean, are you kidding me? It was a party at a fraternity house. One, nobody brought food because everybody eats before they show up, and whatever food was there was gone.
Right. It'd been funny if somebody had sprayed more of just grabbing condiments and hit him again with the hot sauce. And like, oh, sorry.
My bad.
That guy does not have children.
I don't think he is. I think he figured out a way not to have LASIK and Manscaped all at the same time. Well, not LASIK, but laser surgery does Manscaped. But yeah. LASIK on his balls, like his balls need to see anything.
He's been Manscaped and a vasectomy all at one time, and he's probably even lost feeling at the tip. So I don't know. He has just a whole total distaste towards condiments too. He's probably a vegan as well. So that's how they're getting these vegans everywhere. They're just burning their balls and touching their genitalia with hot sauce, and they're like,
that was the funniest thing I've ever seen. And so when I tell people, it's like, hey, by the way, don't go scratch yourself. And they go, well, no. I'm like, let me tell you. I'm going to tell you a story about a dude down in West Georgia that I had. Now, I don't know, call it the privilege, but I had witnessed what can happen. It can ruin not only your weekend, but your week.
See, we just come up with a great marketing idea, Andy. We could make our own really super hot sauce, call it the Power, and it comes with a free back scratcher, face scratcher, nut scratcher. You don't have to touch anything. It can come with like a little, like a leather handle on it, so you just keep it around. And if you're all indulged in hot sauce, you got to scratch your eye, your nut, your butt, anywhere, your ear. You got this little back scratcher. You never come in contact. We call this social distancing hot sauce. That would be the one right there. Look for it.
That would be
from the people that brought you the Fat Thor Lockdown Challenge podcast and the Fat Thor Lockdown Challenge page. Coming soon. The hot sauce that comes with a back scratcher.
That is it.
That'd be great, though, would it not?
It would be. This is probably the one show I'm going to regret we didn't do live. We'd have so many comments, I think, right now.
Yeah, you're right about that. I'll show you something. While I'm in my kiss room, I'll show you something here. I've got hotter than hell sauce. Hold on.
Kiss sauce. Kiss. Yeah, well, I can't see it. Pull back. Okay, see it. How old is that?
It's pretty old.
I was going to say, I don't.
Let's see. Hold on.
Okay, I was going to say, I don't recall them still having that out. Yeah, I know what. I know what you're talking about. Jeans. Yeah.
This is just a fan made hot sauce, and then I have this that I got from the Kiss Coffee House. This is a hotter than hell habanero ketchup.
Oh, there you go.
I have.
I didn't even know they had a
And,
ketchup.
They sold this stuff at the Kiss Coffee House when it was operation in Myrtle Beach back in, so anytime they have any specialty stuff like that, I would pick it up. Which you can look around and clearly I'll pick up anything that's got Kiss's logo or face on it. So
yeah, apparently,
I have Kiss hot sauce. Yep, among other things like coasters and condoms and nesting eggs and too much. Too much.
Oh, that's funny. I know what you mean. I mean, I'm that way about hats and certain things, and I used to have some Kiss stuff, but I'm a big fan of Kiss. I always have been. One of my first, but yeah. Anyways, what are we doing? What else we got? I think that's about it. I think we're gonna wrap it up. We've been doing this. We got a 40-minute show. We're good. Solid.
Yeah,
solid.
This has been a hot wing show, all about the hot sauce.
I didn't know we were going to be talking about hot sauce for 40 minutes, but hey, who's complaining?
We can talk about anything for 40 minutes. And this episode, it happened to be hot sauce. And then we ended off on the back scratcher / eye scratcher / nut scratcher. And Kiss hot. So can't be
exactly. I'm going to go eat a bunch of flats, or my wife's going to eat a bunch of flats because that's her favorite. And by the way, she didn't realize, and the funniest thing about, she did not realize until we got married and we were eating wings. And she goes, man, I just like the flats. I go, well, you can order all flats, right? She was like, what? It was like I had part of the seas and, created something magical. I'm like, and she's like, no, you wait. And I'm like, yes, wait. And then she's like, this is the most magical thing that's ever happened in my life. So now it's her favorite meal.
Well, tell her to have some lemon peppers extra wet for me.
Oh, she's going to. She's going to order. We usually order 20 so she can have another round the next day for lunch or whatever. Which I love. It's fun. It's great. And I love flat wings. Flats are the best because they're like, they got more meat, they're more surface for more sauce, and they're tender. They got more fat on it. So, and always, the fat's the best thing. So. Right. That's my thing. Well, I think that
like
concludes.
Being a fan or a beef fan, you're either one or the other. So it's flats or drums.
Flats or drums.
You got to.
Or you can be both.
You can be both.
You can be both. Yeah. Anyways, folks,
with both.
Right.
I choose to go with both. Let's wrap it up.
We'll wrap it up. Hey, folks, it's Friday. Well, technically not Friday. It's Wednesday. We recorded the show, but it's Friday night. So go have some fun. Go get you some wings. Have a great weekend. I'm Andy Gunnin.
I'm Rik Wayne.
And we'll see you guys next Friday here at the THOR Lockdown Roundtable Podcast. Appreciate you. See you guys.